This is a bit of a massive question and one that's probably difficult to answer, but part of the scare for some people is what we've seen in pop culture, movies like Terminator, where these artificial beings turn on humanity and look at us as ants. And in many ways, we would be in terms of intelligence. But do you think that there would be any type of animosity or any type of danger in that sense? Or is it more so that we simply are just such a low level for them that they don't even want to pay us any mind?
Well, of course, the answer is that I don't know. Now, I did mention that the fact that they will not evolve via natural selection may make them, once they are at this level that they have also consciousness and so on, maybe they will not be aggressive in nature and not expansionist in nature, and so on, in which case maybe there is no danger. I don't know if that will indeed happen or not. Clearly, once an artificial intelligence surpasses us by 1 billion years, we are just like worms to them. So I don't know that they will pay. What kind of communication and mutual life do we have with the worms of our world? Right. So, at that point, I think the question becomes moot, kind of,
Another one of your books focused on Galileo working against science deniers and his famous quote of, "Yet it moves." Let's dive into society today. And like we're saying, we have artificial intelligence moving at such a rapid pace. Does it worry you that we may be entering another period where we may be left saying, "Yet it moves," because of the lack of people acknowledging how quickly this is developing and maybe looking in all the wrong areas, why it's right in front of our faces that these type of artificial civilizations can develop quickly?
Well, I'll tell you, the problem of science denial, I think, exists irrespective of artificial intelligence. When I wrote Galileo and the Science Deniers, I clearly had, my vision focused on a lot of science denial that we have today. With respect to climate change, we had it with respect to in the initial phases of the COVID pandemic, and so on. Unfortunately, we still have lots of people who deny science. And the thing is the following. It is always a bad idea to bet against the judgment of science. It was bad at the time of Galileo, and it is even worse now. And the reason is not because scientists are always right. In fact, scientists are sometimes the first to admit that they are wrong. But science, the way it works, is that science always corrects itself. It self-corrects. And sometimes the correction takes place within a few years, sometimes it takes decades, sometimes it may take a few centuries. But it always corrects itself at the end. So to bet against the judgment of science is a bad idea. In general, to bet against the judgment in science when human life is at stake, like in the case of the pandemic, or when the fate of the entire biosphere of the Earth is at stake, as in the case of climate change, is just unconscionable. So that's very, very worrisome. And Galileo, I actually argue in a different article that maybe he never said, "and yet it moves," but he certainly thought that. Yeah, maybe he never said it in these words, but he certainly thought it. But he gave another sentence which I find amazing, which was, people told him that, but there are things, it doesn't agree what you find with what's written in scriptures and this and that and so on. And at one point he said, "I don't believe that the same God Galileo was still a religious person because almost everybody was at his time. He said, I don't believe that the same God who gave us our senses and intelligence and wisdom wanted us to abandon their use. So, that is exactly what I'm saying. You can believe whatever you want, but, you should use your reason, your intelligence, and your senses. And this is what science tries to do. So I'm very worried about science denial, and this is irrespective, like I said, of what artificial intelligence will do.